And welcome to our session on Working Technicians Tell Their Stories. My name is Greg Kepner, and I'm a co-PI with the Micro Nano Technology Education Center. I have with me today Professor Shirley Dobbins of Hillsborough Community College and Dr. Marilyn Barger of the Florida Advanced Technology Education Center, as well as Chow Tran, who is a working technician and a current student at Hillsborough Community College. This session will provide an opportunity for working technicians to share their experiences about attending community college and technical college programs that prepare them for their positions. Some of the topics we'll talk about is the role of math, science, and key knowledge, skills, and abilities needed for success, and what worked well and what didn't work so well in their technician education, what they wish they had learned in college, barriers to success and their strategies to overcome them. And these working technicians are either students in or recent graduates of HI-TEC programs. So I'm going to ask Chow to talk to us a little bit about, well, first her name and what degree she is working on at the institution she's attending, and then where she's working, where it's located, her job title, and what are her responsibilities there. So Chow, I'm going to turn it over to you now.
So my name is Chow Tran, and I'm currently a student at Hillsborough Community College, finishing up my engineering technology AS degree. And I should be graduating after this summer semester. So right now I'm also working as a mechanical design intern for Adams in Tampa, Florida. My job duty comprise of like AutoCAD and SolidWorks design. I do a detailed drawing in both SolidWorks and AutoCAD. I also do a lot of design for 3D printing, and I also help with create assembly and helping with the assembly process sometime when we do integration project in the company. So yeah.
Okay, great. How did you become interested in this field?
One of my friends teaches a CPT course. His name is Eric Fernandez. I know Mrs. Dobbins know about him. So he introduced me to this program, and I thought it's a great program. It has courses that are very hands-on, which I really appreciate, and very practical, as well as mathematical skill and all those things. And I think that the professors are great as well. We have we also have a very good lab room for us to practice what we learn. And so that's the reason why I chose this program. I know it's a good program, and I'll be able to find good employment afterward.
Excellent. When did that actually happen? Did it happen like right after high school, or did you work for a while?
I lived overseas for a while, and when I came back, I wanted to change my career field, and that's where I got in touch with my friend, and he just introduced me to this program. It's like a smooth transition into it.
Fantastic. Were there any high school experiences that contributed to your choice?
I took a lot of AP courses that relate to science and math, also other courses. So those are the things that I felt when I look at the program courses, I felt like I'm capable of taking them on and finishing the program. It won't be too difficult for me. It's challenging for sure because of the amount of information and also amount of technology that keep changing. And the one thing great about ACC is that we have great machines. We have robot, we have CMM, we have CNC, I mean, you name it. And so I feel like it's a great thing to be able to update my skill.
Fantastic. What challenges have you faced in college?
Oh, challenges, I think, and it's not really bad, but the labs are great challenge, I think. Lab work can be very challenging in the sense that they they are time consuming because you really have to learn a skill. So that's the one thing great about a lab is that we don't just breeze through them. We have to make sure we get the skill down and we get the support from the professor and also the technician. So it's not like we're doing it on our own and not learning anything. As a matter of fact, we learn so much. I learned a lot from my lab. I would say 50 to 75% of what I learn is on the lab work. And so that's the most challenging thing for me. The theoretical part is something that I can grasp. And then transitioning that into a practical skill and really getting it down is a very challenging part for for this program.
Okay. Did you have any favorite classes or any favorite particular class?
Sure, I have AutoCAD, I have SolidWorks. That's part of the job, the duty of a job that I do, because I really like those courses. I also like GD&T, which I'm taking right now. So those are the three courses that I really enjoy.
Would you say those were the most helpful?
Absolutely. I use it all the time at work, a lot in AutoCAD and SolidWorks. And I'm still learning a lot in those two software because I feel like there's just so much, there's advanced and technique and intermediate skills that I'm still trying to grasp and learn as I do my job.
Okay. Now, on the other side of things, were there any classes that you felt were sort of a waste of time or weren't very helpful?
Not at all, because I feel like the program really quick and fast, and there's so much to learn. I wish I can learn more. There's nothing really that I don't use at work, from lean manufacturing to safety to production to measuring anything. So that I feel like I wish I could take more classes.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Um, so you say you wish you could take more classes. What could the college do or add to make your program of study more helpful or more valuable?
Well, my personal experience is that I wish I can take more classes in SolidWorks that are a bit more advanced.
Mhm.
Also, PLC in a way. I was introduced to PLC and Professor Smith is great. I learned a lot from that. But I wish I could take a higher level course in order to do more complicated programming because I see that our electrical engineer in where I work, they do use a lot of PLC. And just being able to understand what a ladder logic is very important. And being able to program it in a more complicated application will be very useful. So I think those are the two courses. Those are two things that I wish I could be learning more.
Okay, sure. How well has your education prepared you for this position that you're in now?
I think it's a great preparation. Like I said, I use everything that I learn in class in my work. Obviously, there's much more focus in designing because that's where my internship lies. But things like GD&T or I do not use PLC so much in my work because it's not my concentration, but we do talk about it, we do discuss about it within the project. So that's the one thing that having the technical background in all of those courses from electromechanical course to PLC, to GD&T, to designing, to lean process, all of those things are give me a very strong background, if I may say.
Okay, so what does the job market look like for you say you're going to graduate this at the end of the summer term, you think?
Yes, sir.
And what does the job market look like for you?
Well, I have had two interviews so far. One is with Adams. I was offered a full-time position. I'm still in the process of transitioning into that. I recently also had an interview with another company in a nearby city, St. Pete. So I feel like is opening. There are definitely things out there for me to be employed.
Fantastic. At this point, I'll turn it over to Professor Shirley Dobbins for some questions.
Okay. Child Tran, how have you had any additional training or educational additions since you entered the workforce? Since you started Adams, have you got additional training there?
So I had a lot of training, not a lot, but as in like I'm still being trained in the kind of aluminum material called 80-20, which people use a lot to create, different sorts of furniture or base or anything like that. So it's a whole different thing that we don't get to study at school because it is a kind of product. So using my mechanical design and also learning about what kind of products that are available in 80-20 is working together. So I'm being trained in how to design things from 80-20. Also, I'm trained to printing thing in a 3D printer. There's a lot more to it than I thought about. We use that a lot because we do a lot of design in-house, and sometimes I design things and I printing them out, and it takes a bit of learning and experience to know how to print in what axis is the best. So those are the kind of things that I'm being trained in.
Okay, so which part of your job do you enjoy the most?
I enjoy designing on AutoCAD and SolidWorks. So
Of course.
it's challenging, but it's great.
Oh, so that's good you said that. It says, now what's the part of your job that is most challenging?
It's that part. Yes, it's that part. It's for example, we're having a project where I have to redesign a bracket, a frame for a universal robot. So this is a second edition, and we want to be able to use our 3D printer, which is a smaller one. And so we have to redesign it in a way that we can cut the big part into 2 or 3 small parts and then put them together. So it takes a bit of redesigning and how to put these things together. So it was a bit challenging at first, but I like it so far.
Thank you.
All right, Chow, I'm gonna take over and ask a couple of questions about what do you think you're gonna do next? So we're gonna graduate this summer, which is awesome. And maybe take this full-time job. I think you're thinking about it at Adams, but do you have any, future career plans, or you see any continued education down the road?
As a matter of fact, I applied for engineering technology BS degree at Daytona State College.
Oh, awesome.
So I'm going to transition into that program in the fall, right after I finish with HCC. But it's an online program, and I plan to study part-time and work full-time now. So for me, it's a great transition, quick, fast, and it's still an engineering AT degree.
Oh, awesome. That sounds great. Is there a particular specialty you have to choose in that 4-year program, or are you just going to wait and see what the options are and what you like when you get started? I know that happens to many of us as students.
Right. Well, when I look at the program, they have a few, they have core courses, and the elective are geared toward things like manufacturing or construction. For me, I would like to focus on manufacturing simply because I like it more, and it's also because I'm already in that kind of environment.
That's great. And I think Raphael has joined us, but I think, first of all, Greg's going to close up since we're almost done.
Hello,
Thanks
everyone.
a lot.
Hello, everyone. My name is Raphael Cedras, and I'm an ET student in HEC. And currently, I'm working in Busch Gardens as a maintenance. It basically is a ride technician, and it's a learning experience for me and also for everyone, like for myself, because I never had that experience, but they included my automotive experience, and I always used to work at a Hyundai dealership for nearly 7 years, and they they said, wow, you had that much experience. And so basically I qualified as a maintenance to be working as a ride technician. But and currently I'm focusing in vehicle maintenance. That's my knowledge of automotive. So they accepted me right away, and everything was everything was in history. Like for me to be working as a vehicle maintenance in Busch Gardens, and I see that my degree, I'm willing to go to my bachelor's degree in Daytona State College. They have it on fully online, and that would work for my job, and also schooling, and also it basically it balances, you know. But yeah.
Raphael, how did you become interested in this field?
How come interested? Ever since high school, I always wanted to be an engineer, but I didn't know what path. So luckily, when I started in HEC, basically, Miss Dobbins, I was a Hope Scholar, and what Dr. Gonza referred me to Miss Dobbins, and basically to give me knowledge about what's engineering. And one thing she's always told me, if you cannot do engineering, there's always engineering technology. And one of the things she gave me knowledge about engineering technology from it took me to that path, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot and try my very best. And ever since then, it basically give me, I'm almost done, and this summer I will be graduating, and so I'm very happy with my choice.
So are you currently, is it an internship or is it a full-time job now?
It's a part-time job, and
Okay.
it's basically training. It's like apprenticeship. Basically, with that is basically you're above apprenticeship. And one of the things I noticed that they told me that I was like, "Is there apprenticeship for this career?" And they told me, "No, they used to had it at the beginning, but they wanted to go to this path of having a part-time position and to train us, and then eventually we would already have the 2 year, a 2 year." And we just need one more year to be, basically you could go for, there's different areas you could go to, rides, and which you could be a ride technician for Shikra, Cheetah, Montu, and all that. But as far as I know, it's a part-time position.
And does it look like this will lead into a full-time position when you graduate?
Yes, that's my goal. And as far as I know, they in the rides they had 3 person, they quit the job, that position. And once I heard that, I was like, I'm looking for the full-time position once I apply for that position. And then I was like, wow, it's a blessing to see that happening in a way that basically I could go apply for the full-time position once it opens.
Okay, great. Tell me what challenges have you faced while in college?
While in college, because I have a learning disability, I have a speech and language disability, and one of the things that made me focus in my area of crafts, to never give up and to keep going. One of my mentors is Shirley Dobbins, Miss Dobbins, and she always pushes me, is that keep going, you can do this, never give up, and basically keep going forward in life. And because like you never know where you're gonna fall through in life, but once you get your life going and knowing what you want, you can do it.
Well, it sounds like you've had good, strong support there at Hillsborough Community College. That's
Yes.
great. You can never underestimate the importance of a professor that's really helpful.
Yes, very true. And also, one of the things that keeps me going is my family, and also keep going. And also, Miss Dobbins always keeps pushing me, and that's another encouragement. And also, my my fiance was just recently got engaged, and also one of the things that motivates me is her, because she finished with her master's, and that keeps driving me to go even do better as well.
Fantastic, fantastic. What did you have any particular favorite classes or particular class at college?
Yes, currently I'm taking CAD for engineering, and basically one of the things that I noticed that you're creating a AutoCAD, and you have to create and shapes. You have to create objects that can be challenging, and so that's one of the things. One of my favorite classes, and also electrical. That's another a grasp that I can learn for continuous years and maintenance, because you're always gonna learn about electrical. You're always gonna learn PLC, programming logic controls, and that was another class I liked it a lot as well, because one of the last projects, it was flashlights, the not the flashlights, sorry, the signal lights, like for the traffic lights. My bad. It was the traffic lights. That was a very challenging project to do, and but yeah.
Okay. What is there anything that your college could do to make your program of study even more helpful or more valuable?
I feel like one of the things like I noticed in my job, they have welding. Like I would like that we would have a welding courses as well. I wish that we could have, because like one things I try to apply, like applying to other jobs, they also include welding, and one is maintenance, because like I wish that they had that for us to improve. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
because like if say like for myself, like I want to be into maintenance for many years as a long career. I would suggest like welding will be a good a good choice for us to learn even more in engineering technology.
Yeah. I'll bet you'll have chances to take some welding classes
Yes, sir.
in the future.
Yes, sir.
So how well has your college prepared you for this job that you're in now?
How they're prepared? Well, I would say the learning courses of electrical, and also other classes of mine was like something about management as well, like how to be a manager, and basically it basically includes me to improve my task, my basically to continue to be better. And one of the things that I'm not sure like how to say, but I guess is like never give up, and so you would try to improve in those areas, I would say.
Oh, sounds good. What does the job market look like for when you graduate? Does it look like pretty strong market?
Yes, it's a very strong market, I would say, because like there's always jobs for us. And one of the things that I noticed, that the Tampa International Airport, they have job opportunities for us. And Busch Gardens always have jobs. Disney has jobs for us, but there's it's this very strong market. Like there's always going to be jobs for us for many years coming on.
I
Okay.
guess things always break down, so you have to be prepared. Right?
Mhm. Yep.
Marilyn, would you like to take over for a minute?
Okay,
Shirley's
we're
here.
sharing the area.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
So Raphael, have you had additional training or education since you entered the workforce? What training did you get there at Busch Garden?
Um, it was my training for my automotive training. I used to do at Orlando, and basically from that training, continue to be Hyundai dealership for many years for me, and also for that task, basically opened the doors for me for Busch Gardens, and and so on so forth, and basically it led me to this job at Busch Gardens.
Okay. What part of your job do you enjoy the most?
Enjoy that part. Enjoying the most. Well, working on vehicles that I never worked on, like for instance Fords, tractors, forklifts, golf carts, and you name it that we basically worked on. You can't believe it. We also work on them in my workforce.
While you're at Busch Gardens working, what part of your job is the most challenging?
So most challenging. Well, like yesterday, I had to do a steering column. I never done before at a Ford because I'm just so used to Hyundai because it's very easy to work on. It's very not complicated, but it is doable, and that was the challenge for me to overcome it and never give up and try to complete the job and basically finish the job and let our fellow coworkers that we can let them have the vehicle and basically can operate it.
Okay, thank you. Marilyn, you have some questions about the future.
I do. So what kind of trends and innovations do you see coming into your work? There might be new tools, new softwares, new whatever that you might be, technologies that will enter your work at Busch Gardens.
Well, I believe my workforce is like there's no training. That's what I was told, but they used to have training for it. So like basically I wish that they have a training course that included like of maintenance, like how to operate our tools, say like for instance for our scans to scan the vehicle, to scan the golf carts, to better operate them, and basically to go forward and basically to learn that material and keep going forth.
Okay. I think you talked about this a little bit already, your future career plans, and you talked about going on to school, to Daytona State, continuing on.
Yes.
And so do you see any other parts of your career path branching off, other things you'd like to do?
Yes, I would like to do my master's, but for that, I would have to do one step at a time and do my bachelor's degree in engineering technology and focus on maintenance. And basically, for my master's, it would be engineering management, concentrating on maintenance. If there's a schooling that has that can concentrate. If no, I would have to do the general studies for engineering management.
Okay. Oh, awesome. Sounds like a great plan.
Yes.
Great plan going forward.
Yes, ma'am.
Greg?
Yes, I'd like to finish up by asking both of you if you have any advice for young people that are considering their education and career opportunities. And let's ask Chow to start us off on that question.
I think if anyone that are into hands-on experiences, learning, and have a aptitude for math or science or machine, and they're not so sure about exactly what path they want to take further down the road, I think this is a great program because you get exposed to so much disciplines, electrical design or maintenance, all of those things, and PLC. So I feel like with this program, you get a hands-on experience and you get a feel for what your inclination is. And I think that's a great way to start and figure out exactly what you want to focus on down the road.
Great, thank you. Raphael, same question. Do you have any advice for young people considering their education and career opportunities?
Well, if it's engineering technology, of course, like there's always open for students to like to come in and to focus on in our like basically our major, because like it's open for everyone, of course. Like like if you don't understand something, like say like math, of course Miss Dom is more welcome to help you and to her to succeed on that. And also if there are hands-on, just like for myself, hands-on, and like it's a great opportunity to be in that degree, because it'll learn the material like from another, like Mr. Smith will also help you with electrical. He's a great person to ask any electrical advice, like, and so on and so forth. And but Ms. Dobbins will also help you with anything you need, and which will direct you the right path to succeed of the electrical. I mean, to the engineering technology courses, like will guide you which courses to take, which not to take, if and what areas you like. But so far, I suggest like let it give a shot of an engineering technology, because it would change for many years to come. And also in the work atmosphere, like I feel like there's a there's a broad to learn of engineering technology. There's different choices you could choose. You could choose electrical, there's chemical, there's mechanical, there's that. But and engineering technology is very broad, so you're not learning one thing, you're learning multiple things.
Great, thank you. And is there anything else either of you'd like to share? I don't want to miss anything. If there's something else that we haven't talked about that you'd like to share.
Let's see. No.
If not, that's fine. I really want to thank you for participating in our session today. It's been very, very helpful, and a special thanks to you and to Hillsborough Community College for what they've done for you. And of course to Professor Shirley Dobbins and Dr. Marilyn Barger for participation today in the session. And so again, thank you very much. We appreciate it and wish you well in your finishing your studies and in your careers.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you for participating today and telling us your stories. It's great to hear.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.